So, welcome to another episode of the Immigrant Education Collaborative Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. I have Mr. John Moore. John, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. And you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for taking time out to do this. So, tell us about your story, man. You were born in Liberia. What was it like, in your early years in Liberia? What you can remember?
It was great. My my father went to graduate school in the United States, so
Hmm.
my story is a little different because
Yeah.
my grandmother actually paved the way for not only my father but for me and my three sons and nieces and nephew.
Yeah.
So born in Liberia, grew up in Liberia, socialized in Liberia,
Uh-huh.
experienced the many blessings in Liberia. Went to elementary school in Liberia, and then you know the history about the Civil War in Liberia.
Hmm.
So came in 1981, I believe.
Hmm.
So I actually started school, and we went to an international school in
Hmm.
Liberia.
Hmm.
My parents worked for a German company, so we were exposed to international students. We had, of course, we had Germans, we had Italian,
Hmm.
we had Indians,
Hmm.
and of course Liberians. But it was a very good mixture at the
Hmm.
school, very small
Hmm.
school, well-known school, probably one of the top schools in Liberia at that time.
Okay.
I'm being biased. So with that kind of foundation, I say that because of um, we majority of my schoolmates who left Liberia came to the United States or went to Europe.
Hmm.
They're all college graduate.
Hmm.
So I'm the last I heard, at least maybe 90% of the students that went to that school went to college and
Okay.
graduated.
Nice.
So because of the Civil War in Liberia, uh, we came, parents brought us over here. So it was a little bit easier for us because my dad went to graduate school here and then he went back home.
Hmm.
So he already had his foot in an American doorstep, ready to come back. So after the Civil War, we came over and uh, enrolled in a magnet school. My sisters and I have four
Hmm.
sisters.
Okay.
My older sister, she's older, so she's staying in Liberia for a while. But the three younger ones and myself, we came. Um, we went to a magnet school,
Hmm.
and it was a health and engineering magnet school,
Hmm.
and it was all academics. Um, Again, I believe it's probably one of the best schools in the state of Georgia.
Mm.
So that educational foundation that we brought from Liberia,
Hmm.
we thought, and our parents thought that the magnet school would be best for us, really,
Hmm.
because they already decided that they want us to go to college, but I wasn't sure who was going to pay for it.
Right, right, right.
Now it's free over here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we enrolled in the magnet school, all academics. We didn't even have elective.
Hmm.
So they told you exactly what kind of classes you were going to have, and that was it.
Yeah.
Uh, there was no sports.
Hmm.
The only thing we did in school was actually PE. That was it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And but I was blessed and fortunate. Started playing soccer when I was 5 years old.
Hmm.
So I was blessed with a gift of soccer, not just
Hmm.
soccer, but athletic gift, really.
Hmm.
And later on, my dad told me that I had a very good balance. And when I say balance, I'm talking about academics and athletic.
Hmm.
So that was a good balance. And in our household, parents made sure you put the education first.
Hmm.
So just to kind of fast forward a little bit, um, I went to the park on a Saturday afternoon to play basketball. There was a park close to a neighborhood,
Hmm.
actually a neighborhood park.
Hmm.
And I just went to go play basketball. So I went, it was kind of crowded on that day. And I saw some kids, high school kids like me, playing soccer.
Hmm.
And I have to be honest because they were all of different race.
Hmm.
They didn't
Hmm.
look like me.
Yeah.
So I walk over and I say, hey, can I kick around with you guys?
Hmm.
And they said, sure. I think it was probably about 6 or 8 kicking around the soccer ball. So I joined in and we started playing. We started scrimmaging.
Hmm.
And they were like, where are you from? They knew I wasn't from here
Hmm.
because at that time, there weren't too many African American playing soccer, to
Right.
be honest with you, or
Yeah.
blacks playing soccer. So they knew I wasn't from the United States.
Hmm.
So I said, I'm from Liberia. And they said, well, where do you go to school? And I said, well, I go to, name of the school is A.R. Johnson Health and Engineering High School.
Hmm.
And they were laughing and said, oh, you go to the Smarty Pants School. I said,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So they said, well, we're going to play next week. Can you come back? I said, sure. So instead of, because soccer was always my favorite sport.
Hmm.
So instead of going to play basketball, I said, I'm going straight to go play soccer.
Hmm.
So I went. Now I think we went from 6 or 8 to about 12 or 15.
Hmm.
So those kids went back and invited their friends, like, yeah, you got to come and see this kid playing. He's very good. He's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad told me I was good, and he told
Yeah.
me I was exceptionally good because he played soccer too.
Right.
So go back the next week, and there's a lot more kids there. And I didn't know they came to see me play.
Hmm.
So we scrimmaged, and I said, okay. So they said, can you come back next week? And I was like, next week? Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything else to do. But this time I went home and I told my dad, I said, hey, he knew I always liked to go to the park and play. I said, but these kids keep inviting me to play soccer. He said, keep inviting you. What do you mean by that? I said, well, they play next to the basketball court and they keep inviting me. And he was like, hmm, let me come and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So this is the third time. So my dad came with me. So now we have like 20 something kids out there,
Hmm.
3 coaches, three
Hmm.
high school coaches.
Hmm.
And as soon as my dad and I walk on the field, they're like, that's him. He's right there. That's him.
Hmm.
So the coaches, they all approach. They had not even seen me play yet.
Yeah.
So I don't remember even playing. Um, but they already told the coaches who I was.
Hmm.
So one of the coaches said, I heard he's very good. And if he's living in this neighborhood, he's actually zoned for my school because the magnet school, you could live anywhere in the city
Hmm.
and they would arrange transportation for you to go to the magnet school.
Hmm.
You have to apply to the magnet school to be accepted, and that's what
Right.
we
Right.
go to the school. So he knew that because the neighborhood I was in, I was zoned for his school.
Right.
He just came right to my dad and said, "Oh, um, if he's going to Johnson, then he's zoned for Richmond, isn't he?" And my dad said, "Yeah, he is. We got a good soccer program," and so I gave him all the information. And then the other coach from Westside High School, I remember the name, so I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Westside High School came that we have a very good soccer program, and then the third school coach came, we have, and they're all like, and I heard one of the coaches say, "This kid can be all American,"
Hmm.
and they had never seen me play.
Hmm.
So I was like, "All American." I honestly I didn't even know what the word all American
Yeah.
meant.
Yeah.
I was like, I was saying to myself, I'm all African, and I
Yeah.
prefer to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Later on, my dad told me, son, I'll explain that to you.
Hmm.
So I heard the word all American, and I heard scholarship
Hmm.
from all 3 coaches. And then I was saying, wait a minute, what's going on over here? I said, they've never even seen me play, and they're talking about scholarship.
Hmm.
So my dad was very grateful. He thanked all 3 of them, and they said they would keep in touch. And my dad, gave the phone to my. This is before cell phone, okay?
Yeah.
So they kept calling the house, and I told my dad, I said, I am not leaving the Mackin school.
Yeah.
I said this was very small school. I mean, just academic excellence.
Hmm.
And I really like it. We really had, I knew all my classmates, they knew me.
Yeah.
We were like a family at that school.
Right.
I didn't want to leave. And I knew it was a good foundation for me too, in a way. So my dad, I don't know how he did it. Thank God he did it. He did some research. and he got me in a semi-pro league.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the only kid in the state of Georgia, from what I remember,
Mm-hmm.
high school kid
Yeah.
playing semi-pro by playing that league.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my exposure for Division One school trying to come and recruit me.
Yeah.
Because this league where you had former professional players, former Division One players, very good. I didn't know then I was only a high school kid,
Yeah.
because my size was just like, but basically I was playing among men
Yeah.
and getting my training.
Yeah.
But that's exactly how I got my exposure. And there were like about 20 something schools around the country um, vying for me to sign a full scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad had a list and he said, well, you know what? Let me see your list. So he looked at it. I think it was like 20 schools. He said, cut in half. And knowing me, I was like, cut in half. I said, come on, Dad, you have all these schools over here. They want
Yeah.
me. I mean, 20. And of course, again, this is before the internet. So
Mm-hmm.
you actually have to go and visit those schools.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I was like, hmm. So I um, I brought a list. He said, cut into half. So I cut it down by 10. And I brought it again. He said, no, too many schools. He said, son, we are not going to be driving all over the country. You're looking at school.
Yeah.
Take the list of 5 and cut it down to half.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. Um, the number one was Duke University,
Mm-hmm.
Clemson University,
Mm-hmm.
University of South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest University,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe the University of Virginia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the top. I mean, all the schools had great program.
Yeah, man. Heavy hitters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, Division One was really only the big schools.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have smaller Division One schools, but those
Mm-hmm.
were very good schools.
Yeah.
And my dad wanted me to go to Duke,
Mm-hmm.
and he made that quite clear.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
um, and I think he knew, but I didn't know. At that
Yeah.
time, Duke had, I believe, they were number one in the country
Mm-hmm.
for graduating student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They had the best record overall,
Yeah.
better than some of the Ivy League schools, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I visited Duke. I think John Rainey was the coach at that time. Very nice coach.
Yeah.
Um, I just didn't feel like it was a good fit for me.
Yeah.
I visited Wake Forest. Same thing. Nice coach. Didn't feel comfortable over there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I just didn't see too many people look like me,
Yeah.
and that was very important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very young. I'm from
Yeah.
Africa. I'm from
Yeah.
Liberia.
Yeah.
I want to be able to relate to other people,
Yeah.
and I don't say that to be, racial or anything like that, but
Yeah.
that's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Clemson was out of the question because Coach Ibrahim was a different type of coach.
Mm-hmm.
He was the kind of coach who would kind of get in your face and grab you,
Yeah.
by your jersey and
Yeah.
shake you out to communicate. And I was like, that's a better way to communicate with your players.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad knew that. My dad knew my personality, and he
Yeah.
said, "No, that's not going to work for my son." And he
Mm-hmm.
was very honest too. He said he told one of the former players, he said, "No, my son is not going to be happy over there." He
Yeah.
said it's not good for him and it's not good for the coach
Mm-hmm.
because if he does that to my son will probably knock him out. And that was
Yeah.
my personality.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
You can communicate with me without shaking me and pushing me
Yeah.
and all that nonsense. Really,
Yeah.
that's not the kind of coaching style I want to be under.
Right.
So Clemson was just out of the question. Very good program, excellent
Yeah.
program, very good school.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So visited South Carolina, and I just like on the tour. I just like the culture.
Yeah.
I saw people from different background.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of people that looked like me.
Hmm.
I we happened to, I don't know whether it was playing or not, um, at that time, and I think up to right now, South Carolina has always have they always had the best international business major in the
Hmm.
country,
Hmm.
undergraduate.
All right.
Um, so that was the ranking. So for some reason, we went to that business school, and I saw a lot of people that looked like me. We're talking about graduate and undergraduate students. So, and then we went through the what I call athletic village. So you have all the apartment complex for all the different athletes.
Hmm.
And this swimming pool is right in the middle.
Yeah.
You know who's at a swimming pool?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. And I was like, this is where I need to be right here.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Um, I had a good time there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a nice story, man. And I like how you walked us through that the whole process with your dad actually helping you to narrow the schools down. So I know you just spoke about at the time University of South Carolina having, one of the top, international business programs, right? Um, when you were back in high school in the magnet high school, as you're going through high school, academics is really important to you and your family. What were you thinking about in terms of what you wanted to study when you went on to college, and also like what you wanted to potentially pursue as a career um, outside of soccer? Like, what were your thoughts? Like, take us back to like the teenage John. You're in the 10th
Yeah,
grade, 11th grade, 12th grade.
that's a very good question. The teenage John was looking into aviation, being a pilot.
Ah,
And when we went to the magnet school, the magnet school started as a health education, and
mm-hmm,
then later on they brought the engineering. So they brought the engineering kind of late, really. So I
mm-hmm,
wasn't really exposed to the engineering part of it.
mm-hmm,
Had I been exposed earlier, I
mm-hmm.
more than likely, because I'm very techy,
Yeah,
more than likely I would have chosen that path to go.
mm-hmm,
But I knew being at the magnet school, the health, because a lot of my classmates, schoolmates, they went into the medical profession. A lot
mm-hmm,
of doctors and
mm-hmm,
nurses,
mm-hmm.
and you name it,
Yeah.
dentists and so forth. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so the school did an extremely great job to train.
Hmm.
But my teenage, I thought about becoming a pilot.
Hmm. And where did that
So
come from? Like, where did your love of aviation and being a pilot, like, where did that come from? How did you develop that?
I believe I just looked up one day, and I just looked in the sky and I saw the airplane, and I'm like, oh wow, I would love to be able to control that machine.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to fly it. And and I think what killed my spirit, to be honest with you, is while I was in high school, uh, the park that I went to go play soccer was across from the airport.
Mm.
So I told my dad I was going to go to the airport one day just to watch because I just love planes.
Yeah.
So I went to the airport, and it was during the summertime, and I asked to see who was in charge. I didn't know they had an airport manager at the time,
Yeah.
and and the lady said, "Well, let me get the airport manager for you." And I said, "Sure." So he came out there, and I say, "I like aviation. I like flying. I like planes." I said, "Do you have anything for a high school kid to come around and volunteer?
Hmm.
I would like to be a volunteer at this airport just to be in the environment to
Yeah.
learn." And he looked at me. He said, "Young man, we don't have anything for you. I'm sorry. You got to go
Yeah.
home."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And it really put a damp, I mean, and I knew it was racial.
Yeah.
And I went home. I don't believe I told my dad about it, but
Yeah.
it really, it hurt me
Yeah.
badly.
Hmm.
And because of that, I think I took that aviation part and put it in the back of my mind.
Mm.
And even though I love aviation, but I just put it in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But and I went to the university undecided. I wasn't sure
Mm.
what I was going to major in.
Gotcha.
I had an average math background, so I thought about computer science. And I was like, no, not really.
Yeah.
So I met one of the professor who was she was actually before then she became the dean of the school of business,
Mm-hmm.
and they were having some kind of Black History Month event, and I went and she was one of the speakers, and I went to talk to her. And then she said, "Well, what school are you in? Being that, are you in the school of business? Are
Mm-hmm.
you in the school of whatever it is?" And I said, "Well, I'm undecided." And then she's like, "Okay, well, come to my office. Let me have a conversation with you."
Mm-hmm.
So I went to her office, and this is after my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "You got to pick a major." And then she told me she recommended that I take this test. I guess it was some kind of personality test or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I took the test, and then she came back. She said, "Have you decided about majoring in business?" And I said, "No." And then I remember sharing with her, I said, "I always want to be a pilot." She said, "But we don't have an aviation program here." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "That's true." And then she said, "I would highly recommend that you go into marketing."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Why marketing?" And she took her the test result and she showed me the result why she recommended marketing for me
Mm-hmm.
based on the results, based on my personality,
Mm-hmm.
based on my communication, and everything else.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. After that conversation, she actually became the dean.
Mm-hmm.
So usually when you're the dean of the school of business, you're not really teaching too many classes.
Right.
You over the whole program really. But I was able to keep my relationship with her because we
Mm-hmm.
started that before she became the dean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, actually I double major in both marketing and management.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would talk to her about marketing, she encouraged me to read books on psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not, I'm not too fond of Freud right now, Sigmund
Yeah.
Freud. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't like what I was reading. But she had a vision why she wanted me to do that.
For sure.
And when I majored and I graduated, my first job was in retail management.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to apply all my marketing skills.
Mm-hmm.
So really have over 30 years of marketing background.
Yeah.
I was able to go to flight school
Mm-hmm.
and become a pilot.
Okay.
I was able to work at a flight school.
Uh-huh.
I was able to work at an aviation university.
Uh-huh.
So things, I mean, have a way of coming back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be thankful for and blessed for.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So was she your professor who became the dean essentially, she essentially became a mentor, like
Yeah,
almost like a lifelong mentor for you. And
yes,
then so she's helping you make the connection with marketing and psychology, the psychology that goes into marketing, that goes into
exactly.
business, right?
Yeah,
And she already made that connection for you. It took a little bit of time for you to kind of pick up on why she was putting those two things together.
yes,
But then it just played out perfectly for you. And then again, it comes full circle. You end up going back and getting your pilot's license and becoming a pilot, working in the aviation school. So talk to us about that because again, this was something that you had put on the shelf after having, a bad interaction with an adult who wasn't, kind in embracing, this interest that you had as a teenager, you know what I mean? And
right.
but what's really redemptive is that you were able to, so talk to us about like how you kind of pulled that back off the shelf and kind of empowered yourself to push forward despite this scar from, your teenage years. Like what was what pushed you through to do that?
Well, I come, with the African culture is very strong.
Hmm.
And I had a great relationship with my parents,
Hmm.
very supportive. They were always there for me. My dad was my first coach, soccer coach, really. He
Yeah.
knew the game.
Hmm.
But he will always say the best job. And I saw him living this.
Hmm.
He would say the best job in the world is the one that you actually enjoy doing.
Mm.
It's like a hobby, but
Yeah.
you get paid for doing it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that. That stayed with me.
Yeah.
And marketing came natural for me based on my personality.
Hmm.
But aviation was like it was like a passion that I needed to
Yeah.
touch and get into. And I remember him saying that, and that was always in my head. The
Hmm.
best job in the world is the one that you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I decided to go to flight school. As a matter of fact, when I went back to school to go to flight school, I already graduated from college.
Hmm.
I didn't even need another degree. I just needed to go, just jump in and go through with the flight training itself. But I went back and got a second degree
Hmm.
because I wanted to learn as much as I could. So I got a second degree as a commercial as a commercial pilot. And
Wow.
in the middle, and then moved. I'm actually in Florida right now. I
Hmm.
actually started my flight training in California.
Mm.
So uh, my oldest son, or first son, was born in California. So we moved back down south to Georgia.
Hmm.
And because of the earthquake in Florida, I mean, California, we didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I decided, I started, but I didn't finish in California.
Hmm.
So the next best place for me on the East Coast was the state of Florida.
Hmm.
And I live in Florida right now, and
Yeah.
that's why I came to Florida.
Hmm.
So I enrolled in the flight school, and I was actually in the middle of my training. And the vice president introduced me to the president of the school, the flight school.
Hmm.
And they needed someone, they need a director of marketing.
Mm.
And he heard I had a marketing background.
Yeah.
So I kind of took it to school and put it on hold because I saw the salary
Yeah.
and I couldn't turn it down.
Yeah.
So that's how I got back into it again.
Yeah. So that's really cool. That's really, really cool, man. And I love what your dad told you about find something that you enjoy doing because this is what allows you to be productive, right?
Yes, yes.
Um, and so it was good that you always had that in the back of your mind. So talk to us today about how you have blended, marketing and aviation, you know what I mean, to sort of make you into this I guess productive citizen.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, when I got to flight school, I look at the kind of programs they had, and I look at the kind of students they were trying to bring on board.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, coming from Liberia, I mean, we've spent some time in England and also in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the international
Yeah.
when it came to aviation because I was just into that realm really.
Yeah.
So I knew that India was one of the countries really trying to improve or just do a major improvement or overhaul to the aviation infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
India was one of those top countries, and also China.
Mm-hmm.
So when I took over as the director of marketing, the first thing I did was I revamped the whole marketing program, and I went after the international students
Mm-hmm.
because aviation is extremely expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And in the U.S., um, you have to get one student costs like $90,000 for one student.
Mm-hmm.
So the process of bringing students, domestic student on board was very difficult because of the loan structure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a college graduate, you're already on a scholarship, you already have a loan from undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to add another $90,000 to that. So I knew that.
Yeah.
And when I started my training for the first time, I took a student loan to pay for that
Mm-hmm.
because my 4 years were already paid for.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason why I made that decision
Mm-hmm.
to put my school on hold and pay off that loan.
Yeah.
So what I did was I focused on recruiting international students.
Mm.
And I started with students from India.
Mm-hmm.
And I use, of course, internet wasn't as big as it is right now, but I use SEO,
Mm-hmm.
search engine optimization,
Mm-hmm.
and I will use like 10 keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say pilot training,
Mm-hmm.
flight training,
Mm-hmm.
those 10 keywords, our score will probably be number one or number two.
Yeah.
So after, I guess, experimenting for like 2 weeks, I narrowed down to 5 keywords.
Mm-hmm.
And those keywords were very effective in recruiting students from different places, at least
Mm-hmm.
getting information that students were interested.
Mm-hmm.
and majority of the students were coming from India. So what I started doing now, I started targeting. This is based on my marketing background.
Mm-hmm.
So I started targeting the country of India,
Mm-hmm.
and I started sending information, but it wasn't in English. It was
Mm-hmm.
in Hindi.
Yeah.
So when you read information about the school, you're like, oh wow, I'm actually reading this is a flight school in the United States.
Yeah.
And I'm reading this in my native language.
Yeah.
And because of that, we were able to be we were able to recruit a lot of students
Yeah.
and did the same thing with China too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had somebody I had a Chinese translator. I said I
Yeah.
want the advertisement or the information to be in Chinese. Let me just use the word Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually it was Mandarin really, but
Mm-hmm.
for this conversation we just say Chinese.
Yeah.
And it was very effective too. And we started getting a lot of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So invited the president from China Eastern Airline
Mm-hmm.
to come to visit the school,
Mm-hmm.
which is in DeLand, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And out of that came a $10 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
So here you are. I have because as an employee, I could get in the plane and not rent the plane, but just we had three schools.
Mm-hmm.
One was in Arizona, two in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So DeLand is where I was based. Fort Pierce, which is in the southern part of Florida, I
Mm-hmm.
could fly there and do marketing work and then come back.
Yeah.
So I was flying, and that's what I love to do. I would fly to Fort Pierce and I would come back.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fly all the way to Arizona, really.
Arizona. Yeah.
So in a way, I was living my dream by
Yeah.
doing that, really.
Yeah. No, I
So I
think
hope I
that
answered the question.
no, no, you did, you did. And I think what's beautiful about your story, right? So a lot of times when we do these interviews, we touch on the three P's, right? Which is your personal story, which you've been doing and bringing us through this. We touched on your professional side. Let's talk about the parenting side, right? And the reason I want to bring the parenting side in is because you talk about your dad, how instrumental your dad was. You know what I mean? From going to the park with you whenever all the kids were talking about you being a soccer player, to telling you, hey, if you do what you love, you end up, having a great career. Um, so from your personal lessons, from your professional lessons, all the experiences that you've had, how has that helped to shape you as a parent?
Oh, whew. I think one of the gifts that God gave me was my sense of discipline.
Mm,
And I believe, but my parents helped me structure that discipline.
mm-hmm,
Um, Everything that I have, everything I've accomplished or
mm-hmm,
achieved
mm-hmm,
is because of my parents.
mm-hmm.
I believe I've received some things simply because my parents did it for other people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm benefiting from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that if I can imitate my parents and be kind and helpful and give to others,
Mm-hmm.
I may not receive the blessings right now, but
Yeah.
I do believe that my three boys will benefit from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some of those things that your parents passed on to you that you have adopted, remixed, and then passed on to your children?
Oh, it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, the value of education.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Parents, and I knew it came from my grandmother on my father's side because
Mm-hmm.
she came to this country and got her PhD and went back to Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
So she believed in education.
Mm-hmm.
She also believed in if you decided to go into the health field, a nurse, a doctor, no matter what, you had to take care of the patient. Patient's always first.
Mm-hmm.
And not focus on the monetary part of it,
Mm-hmm.
but focus on caring and giving back to people.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, my parents always emphasized
Yeah.
be kind, be
Yeah.
nice, be
Yeah.
respectful,
Yeah.
treat others the way that you would like to be treated.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I remind my kids to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I say, you have to always give your very best,
Mm-hmm.
even if nobody's looking,
Yeah.
because you're really trying to please one, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
And I got that from my parents,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of parent that I am. I come from a family where we hug a lot.
Hmm.
Every time I see my boys, I hug them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I hug strangers too, and
Yeah.
if it's just part of me, really.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. I think you definitely exude a lot of love, man. And it's you exude that because you were well loved. You know what I mean? Like your mom, your dad, your family, everybody loved you, loved you well. So even when you go out into the world and the world doesn't show you love, it doesn't stop you from still serving and still treating people how you want to be treated, despite those
Absolutely.
moments where you may run into people who, you know, don't recognize who's in front of them and you keep it pushing. So, John, before we wrap up, man, tell me, are there any questions? I love your story. I think there's a lot of gems, there's a lot of nuggets. Family is a very strong thread. Service is a very strong thread. Education is a very strong thread in your family. Um, so, what are some things that in preparation for this interview with me, um, that you were thinking about and preparing for that I didn't ask you?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, my life is an open book.
Yeah,
I didn't plan anything. I was
yeah,
just going to come on board and
yeah,
answer all your questions
yeah,
and and this is who I am.
yeah,
This is what I believe.
yeah,
This is how I've lived my life, and this is how I continue to live my life.
yeah,
And I'm a very goal-oriented person.
yeah.
I go
Uh,
after whatever it is that I want.
so I have a question for you. So what were some of those things what were some of like the biggest adjustments that you had to make when you first moved? Because when you first moved from Liberia, you guys moved to Georgia,
Yes,
right? Okay,
right.
so was there like a Liberian community already in Georgia? Did you already have
Absolutely
family
not.
there?
No,
No?
there were no, not even African community, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
So it was predominantly U.S. citizen
yeah.
in high school and everything. I didn't have uh, the only connection I have with Africans were number one, my family,
Mm-hmm.
because my entire family was here. So we
Okay.
also had cousins and uncles, and on both
Yeah,
sides, especially on my
yeah,
father's side
yeah,
of the family. But there was no um, African community. I mean, African community for me growing up.
yeah,
But I've always been the one to build friendship,
yeah,
and it's another gift that I have,
yeah,
and I do a good job at it. And my parents saw that from a long time ago,
yeah,
and I'm happy they encouraged me to do that.
yeah,
Uh, you know, and it goes by to being kind to people, really.
yeah. And so,
So,
can you speak a little bit to like the history of Liberia, right?
okay,
And your family. Can you talk to us about that to educate us on that piece on how?
sure.
Yeah.
Let me start with my father because you have to start with the father first.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, my father's from the northern part of Liberia. He comes
Hmm.
from one tribe, and my mother comes from another tribe.
Hmm.
Uh, in Africa, not just only in Liberia, but in Africa, you have tribalism. So
Hmm.
sometimes tribes do not interact or even matter.
Yeah.
But my mother's tribe is a neighboring tribe to my dad's tribe. And I
Hmm.
say that because my mother can speak my father's language, but
Yeah.
my father doesn't speak her language.
Yeah.
Now, Liberia is an English speaking country.
Hmm.
And of course, in the common history about Liberia, that it was founded by free slaves
Hmm.
to some extent.
Yeah.
But when they took the slaves from the United States to Liberia,
Yeah.
my ancestors were already there
Yeah.
on both sides
Gotcha.
because my father belonged to this tribe,
Yeah.
my mother belonged to this tribe. Now, going back to my father's side, my grandmother, the one who came to the United States,
Hmm.
and I have to um, add her story to this because this is crucial.
Hmm.
Growing up as a little girl in Liberia, she picked up a Christian pamphlet
Hmm.
and she read the pamphlet, and there was an address in there, and she said she would love to come to the United States to go to school.
Hmm.
So she wrote a letter to
Hmm.
this couple in the United States.
Yeah.
So yes, a young lady all the way in Liberia
Yeah.
who wrote a letter that she would love to come to the United States to go to school.
Hmm.
Guess what? They sent for her.
Yeah.
She came here. She finished high school, college. She got her bachelor in nursing.
Yeah.
She got a master in nursing,
Yeah.
and she went on to get her PhD in theology.
Yeah.
She went back to Liberia and opened an orphanage
Mm-hmm.
and named the orphanage after the couple who sent for her.
Mm.
So that opened the door for my dad to come for graduate school.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, which is my father's father,
Mm-hmm.
was a military general
Mm-hmm.
in the Liberian military and very wealthy, very popular. Um, a lot of time people hear the story about, this is very important, they hear the story about the Pan-African movement,
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Garvey.
Mm-hmm.
And then yet Marcus Garvey went to Africa. Well, Marcus Garvey went to Liberia
Mm-hmm.
because no country in Africa was established at that time. There
Right.
was only two countries,
Yeah.
Liberia
Yeah.
and Ethiopia.
Yeah.
The only two countries that weren't colonized.
Yeah.
So Marcus Garvey, when he was going about with the Pan-African movement, it was my grandfather that he spoke with
Mm.
because my grandfather was a military general
Yeah.
and very popular. I mean, very influential too.
Yeah.
And but he didn't seek at a time when you're that popular. The next step for you is to try to become president. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't want that.
Yeah.
He enjoyed being a military general, and that was it for him,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn that when I was growing up because my grandfather was so popular
Mm-hmm.
and he was all over the place. You know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't close to my father, and
Yeah.
my father was his oldest son.
Yeah.
So, because of that relationship, I didn't learn that until later on. It was actually my mother who brought my father and my grandfather together.
No, that's thank you for sharing that, man. That's some rich history. So John, I appreciate you sharing your story, man. Hopefully this wasn't too crazy for you.
Oh, no.
I appreciate you being an open book and sharing your story with us, man. This is a fascinating story. So talk to us about, like what do you do now, man? Do you still play soccer? How do you stay in shape? What are you doing? Because you look like you could still go a full 90 minutes out there.
I can, and I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I July of this year, I'll be 62.
Okay.
Um, I still play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After graduating from college, I coached Division One.
Mm-hmm.
I coached high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I coached clubs on every level.
Yeah.
And I retired from coaching, and I went into personal training.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the kids who maybe they're in high school, they want to get to the next level.
Yeah.
They want to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the person in this area. I'm the person they call on to
Yeah.
help them. I have a young lady playing professional in Greece right now.
Nice, nice.
She's playing in like three different countries:
Mm-hmm.
Germany, um, France, and now in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So Florida, known as the Sunshine State. We
Yeah.
play all year round, except for right now because it's cold.
Yeah.
But I still play. I exercise. I jog 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I still enjoy playing the game.
Yeah.
As for career, my 25 plus years in marketing, I have my own insurance services company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a licensed financial professional,
Okay.
so I help people, uh, protect their money, grow their
Yeah.
money, have
Yeah.
access to the money.
Yeah.
And then I also work at an elementary school
Yeah.
as a PE teacher.
Nice.
I like
Nice.
it. I do it for the benefit, really.
Yeah. That's good, man. So you're still around the youth and you're able to, pass on some great lessons about discipline, about life, about being a good person, being a good role model, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's really cool, man. So John, thank you for taking the time out to share your story. This has been, fascinating. I learned a lot from you. I appreciate you. Um, so thank you for doing this,
Thank you,
sharing your
Derek. My
story with
pleasure.
us. Yeah,
Thank you
man.
for your
So
time, too. Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
This has been
Okay.
another episode of the Immigrant Education Collaborative Podcast. We'll see you next time.